welcome to another Money Morning Routine. Okay, so we are literally the day before I'm going to close out my budget. So I'm closing out my budget tomorrow, closing out January, going into February. Now, I get a lot of questions. If you get paid multiple paychecks, should you track your spending and close out your budget with the first paycheck of the month or the last paycheck of the month? It depends. It's completely up to you. I like to track my spending from the beginning of the month to the end of the month, which means that I am opening and closing my budget at the beginning of every single month. Because once you close a tracking period and budget, and you're starting a new one on the same day. So tomorrow I'm closing out my January budget, and at the same time, I'm starting February budget and tracking period. So let's look at very quickly. I had a couple transactions come out from my checking account. So I had food. I've been kind of posting my smaller grocery hauls and the cost over on my Instagram. If you're interested in that, remember, I ran out of food cash over a week ago. So I'm doing very small, only for the things, I had kind of a purchase yesterday. I got some, I love organic dried mangoes. I ended up buying some. They were not a want or a absolute need. They were a want item, but I got them. Spent $37.03. Now, here's another thing. My Chewy subscription for our dog food and chicken supplies, like I get our chicken feed from there, their mealworms. Usually that comes out. So yeah, that comes out every 4 weeks. So not necessarily on the same day every month. So Chewy has already came out for me this month, but it's every 4 weeks. So it actually came out again, which was supposed to be in February. And instead of being the normal price that it usually is, usually I spend about $265 on Chewy. It was only $69. Why? The great thing about Chewy is you can go in and alter your orders. If you we have too much dog food right now. I don't need another bag of dog food. So I was able to take that off, which decreased. We get Nature's Logic, which is kind of an expensive brand. Both of our dogs have allergies, and so we have to have them on a special fish diet, which makes their food kind of expensive. And so because we didn't need more of that, I brought it down to $69. So this is technically was for my February expense, but it came out the end of January. This is why it's so important to have a checking account cushion. I wasn't expecting this expense to come out till February, but it's going to come out. It came out at the end of January. Also, looking at that, I now know I have over $100 for just sitting around in my budget here that I'm going to have to play with and look at as well. So another thing is it's getting, the sun is out and we're getting more daylight every day. I want to change my cover. So last year we redid our covers with the new Budget by Paycheck workbook. We reinforced them. When we first came out with the idea, some people did complain about their covers falling off. But the last year, the ones that we released with the new workbook, our smiley face theme and our black one, these are reinforced. So I'm just going to do that. And I want to put on, it just pulls off and then it just slips on these little, you can just punch it in. This is how I do mine. And then you have a new cover on. These ones don't, you can see I'm pulling pretty hard. These ones don't fall off. So I wanted to put on and use my happy cover. So that's what I'm going to be using going forward. I have all of the changeable covers. I just love them. I love being able to switch out depending on the mood or season or whatever. So now let's talk about very quickly. Okay, like I said, we're closing out our budget and tracking period for January. Let's talk about the things that need to be done and prepared for that to happen. So first things first, you need to be fully updated with your spending. So if you have so usually around this time, I do no spend days. The day before, a couple days before, give those transactions, if I have any pending transactions in my checking account, to clear. Fully updated expense trackers. That's number one. Okay. Also, make sure you have your monthly budget category breakdown prepped. Get your categories down. Oh, you can see I need to finish writing in my monthly budget, then that will be done. Okay, so get that prepped and ready to write in the day you close out your budget. The next thing is, so that's closing out January. Okay, updated tracking and get your monthly budget category breakdown prepped. Okay, get the categories written down, get your monthly budget written down. Let's talk about starting February. To start the new tracking period, to start the new budgeting period. So here are my cash envelopes that I'm going to be using for February. That's done. Okay, done. Then I made sure I have my February budget ready to go. That's done. I have my cash teller slip ready to go down to the bank with me. That's done. Okay, so that's all ready to go to start February. Now, I will say another thing, and this isn't until the day that you actually close out your budget. If you have any money left in your cash envelopes, your variable spending cash envelopes, if you are using the cash envelope method, start thinking about what you want to do with that money. Okay, you should have priority goals that you're working on. That should be a really easy question to answer. Where do I want to put this money? To your number one priority goal. And that's why it's really, really important at the beginning of this workbook to fill out your financial plan, okay, and your sinking funds, your savings goals. Now, here's the thing. The financial plan, I got a great question. What's the difference between the financial plan and the savings goals? Okay. Your financial plan is your short, medium, and long-term goals. These are your savings goals. But on the savings goals trackers, you can also track sinking funds, okay? So I have Chris's B-Day, James' B-Day, those are sinking funds. For these ones here, these are kind of my bigger goals. And you can choose what you want to show progress for your savings. This is just the way I set mine up. So Yellowstone, Arizona, and my pet fund, well, I don't have any of those on the ones that I'm tracking, but they are ones that you can see if we go to my January budget, I'm contributing to them. Arizona, Yellowstone right here. I'm just not necessarily tracking it on a visual tracker. I decided I'm going to be doing these goals down here along the bottom. So my birthdays, Christmas, back to school, wedding, anniversary, property taxes, and house insurance. So it's up to you what you want to track here. You can track your goals from your financial plan. You can do your sinking funds, whatever you would like. You could do both. So the only ones that I'm not currently contributing to is increasing my emergency fund and my new car fund. Right now, I will have more money once I have some soap that I'm going to launch for Pine Manor Naturals. That's going to help me contribute to these. And once these are done, then I'm going to start going down. The next plan is get that emergency fund built back up and then the new car. So that is my Monday morning routine.